What is up, Rams fans? Welcome back to First Down Rams. We got a bit of a special episode this week. We got Sheriff Joe Bags of Rams Showcase joining to talk Rams Jaguars, to talk what's more likely, but it's just the Rams, to talk over Rams Action Friday, everything with you guys. You guys know the way the show works. We just got a special guest in here, and that is none other than Sheriff Joe Bags, a great guy, one of my best friends, honestly, in the Rams creators space. He's got a great podcast at Ram Showcase, basically everywhere if you want to check him out. Sheriff Joe Bags, how are you doing today?
Dude, no complaints at all, man. Well, one complaint. That's just that I got to get up so early on Sunday, but I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
That's going to be a little bit different, huh?
Yeah, dude, it's been so long since we've done this, man. It's been, I mean, it's been years since we've had to get up early for a Rams game, but I'm ready for it, man. I know that the second my alarm goes off, my eyes are gonna friggin' fly open, and then I'll be ready to go, man. I may not even make it to my alarm. We'll see.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna be too excited. We're just gonna be waking up. It's not like you're waking up on Monday having to go to work. It's like waking up to Rams football, which is the best way to wake up. So no
I can take naps
here.
Later during the afternoon games or something. I'll be all right.
Exactly. Starting your day with Rams, there's no better way to start the day. So definitely excited. We'll talk Jags and Rams here with Sheriff Joe Bags. Grandizer, thanks for coming in. He says no Peo today. Yeah. No, he was actually taken hostage, so we don't know where he is right now, and we're just going to do this show. No, I'm kidding. Peo had a little Peo had a commitment tonight. He couldn't make it, but Sheriff Joe Bags was nice enough to join us tonight to talk Rams and Jaguars. Hopefully, it's still going to run smooth, though, guys. Sheriff Joe Bags, he's done this for quite a bit of time here on Rams Showcase, so it's going to be fun. Jack 42 says Peo, whose house? And then we got
Pejo time.
Pejo. He says, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. This guy, he's such a good supporter to the channel. He's tried to tell me like how to pronounce his name in the chat before, and I'm still struggling. So if you understand how to pronounce that name, that would help me out a lot.
I would say Muad'Dib, but I don't know.
He said it's like a reference from Dune. So I don't know. I haven't watched Dune before. Yeah. So, but thanks for coming in, everybody. This is always love the interaction. And we're just going to start here talking Rams and Jaguars. What are your overall thoughts heading into this game in London, Sheriff Joe Bags?
Overall, man, I'm just excited to be 4-2, playing another 4-2 team. I think that especially for the London audience, and such a bummer of a matchup last week, man. I think it'll be fun to get some high flying action against 2 4-2 teams, and one who I think, I mean, maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm surrounded by Ram stuff, but some high flying offense, even though we're going to be out our top guy. But yeah, I'm just excited to give the foreigners a better look at our product here, as Jets and Broncos did not pull through.
No. I mean, you could make an argument that this could be, on paper, one of the best London games just heading into it. We've had some very uninspiring London football, to say the least, here recently. And so I'm definitely going to be excited to see the kind of product that we get. I'm also like just curious to see how it looks, because I feel like London games, no matter how good your team is, they always are kind of wonky in some way, shape, or form. Whether that means it's going to be high scoring, low scoring, I just feel like we're going to see some weird stuff this game that's might not be normal to what you would see just in a typical game at SoFi or on the road somewhere else. What are your kind of thoughts about that, with London games being kind of a little bit different than normal games?
Well, yeah, and I mean, the Rams are handling it so weird as well. I mean, flew out today to go out to London. So, I mean, quite literally, it is, I feel like everybody's kind of going to be on a bit of a chaotic body clock. I don't know if you can, in 2 nights, kind of shift that to adjust. But I mean, I think that ultimately tomorrow is going to be huge for that. But that's, I mean, I feel like we're all going to be on 6:30 body clock at kickoff, and that's crazy. Like I do kind of feel like, at least in the first half, it's going to be sloppy because of that. I think the Jags have been there all week, and the Rams decided to stay in Baltimore. So I think ultimately, I mean, it's just hard to do that, man. It's such a time change that I don't know. I'm curious to see what went into the thought process with the Rams of not going out earlier and deciding to fly out today. So I'm not sure.
It's really weird to think about the perspective, because if anybody doesn't know, Sheriff Joe Bags and I are both living in Colorado right now, so we're on a different time than what California time is. But it's really weird to think about, if you're to put yourself in the perspective of like the Rams shoes, and them going to play a game at 6:30 in the morning for them, like their body clock time,
Mhm.
that's got to be some sort of adjustment. I know that some players like downplay it and say like it's really not that different. I'm sure when you get going and you start playing football, it feels normal. But I think it was on Between the Horns, they brought up a good point of like your rhythm of before the game even starts, getting warmed up, having your kind of routine before the game even starts is going to have to start 5:30, 4:30, maybe even 3:30 for some of these players LA time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all that ends up playing out into this game. I think the Rams in general this season have had a lot of games, even in the wins that we've had, we haven't seen the best product of football yet. And there's been a lot of mistakes. I actually, a little teaser, have a video coming about that soon. And so this is going to be interesting because obviously you don't have Puka Nacua, who's a big player for this Rams offense. And you're going to be playing in London in an earlier time frame. These games tend to be weird. I think as long as you come out of the game with a victory, that is the most important thing. But how does it look? That's kind of my question with it.
Yeah, that's I mean, you bring up some really good points about just like the timing of it and stuff like that. It just yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see how like they come out and stuff like that. But I mean, you're right. And I mean, I think Stafford mentioned that in his press conference this week of like, I mean, once you're under center, it's all the same. Like you're fine. Like you're in it. You're reading a defense. Doesn't matter what the stadium looks like. I think that was kind of the comment about playing at the Orioles feels like. He's like, I don't know, man. When I'm under center, I'm just looking at the defense. I'm not like, but you're not just soaking in the venue. When you're trying to figure out who the mic is and what the coverage looks like. So.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. And we're going to get a little bit more into this in the Over Rams action segment. But I'm curious to hear your perspective on Puka Nacua being hurt and missing this game. I've heard a lot of Rams fans panicking about this and saying that we don't have a chance. Even Jaguars fans thinking like that with Puka Nacua being out, that significantly lessens the chances of the Rams winning. I have my own thoughts on that, but I kind of want to get your perspective on that, what the game plan could kind of look like and what your overall thoughts are on the impact of Puka missing this game.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it on Tuna and the Sheriff this week. That like what a first world problem to be like, oh man, we don't have Puka Nacua. All we have is Devontae Adams. Like, yeah. I don't know, man. I like obviously that's a hit. That's Puka Nacua is probably the best receiver in the game right now, and obviously that's a major hit. But I think overall, I mean, the Rams are still absolutely loaded with weapons, and if one player can derail your scheme, then you were never that good to begin with. So I think if we do see that the Rams can't do anything, then we just weren't that good, at least to start the season. But I think overall we got Devontae Adams. I think Whittington is obviously awesome. Tutu. I mean, we got tight ends for days out here. So I feel good about our weapons. I just feel like ultimately this is going to be more of we're expecting some rain and stuff like that anyway. So I think that this is going to be more of a ground attack and short passing yard kind of situation anyway. But as far as missing Puka, obviously that sucks. But I just don't think that our entire offense, I mean, statistically, you could say that it does, but I just don't think our entire offense revolves around Puka in a way where we can't do anything if he's not in.
Right. And I think if you look back to last year for the Rams, they actually dealt with a lot of injuries to the receiver position to the point where both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were out. And we had guys behind with Jordan Whittington, Tutu Atwell that were playing in there, even Tyler Johnson at times. And the Rams were still able to win games, even if it wasn't the prettiest and even if it didn't look like the Rams offense, they're able to pull that out. I think this year you're in a better position to handle an injury with Puka Nacua because, like you said, we have Devontae Adams, who is still a number one receiver. I think the Rams have used Puka more as like the featured guy on their plays, which makes sense. But I think Devontae Adams can be used as a number one receiver still, especially when their chemistry kind of gets ironed out between Stafford and Adams. And then I really like Jordan Whittington in that Puka role. He's very similar, even if he's not to the same level. He can do a lot of those things. Tutu Atwell, we saw it against the Seahawks, I think back in 2023, week one, he had like 120 yards. So you have guys who have been in this system long enough, and you still have Devontae Adams on top of that, and you got a good running backfield too. So like, I think it's definitely a bit of an overreaction to be saying like we have no chance with Puka being out. Yeah. Is he a big part of this offense? Yes, he is. But you also have other contributors, including a number one receiver in Devontae Adams, who's been doing it for a long time now. So
yeah, well, and I also think that like, I mean, you get the situation where I think there's chunk of people who are nervous about Devontae and his fit in with our offense. It doesn't seem like him and Stafford have been on the same page, had a lot of drops last week, but I think I take the drops last week as like, that's a good thing. Do you really think that Devontae Adams, future Hall of Famer, is going to have a game like that where he's having trouble holding onto the ball 2 games in a row? I just don't really see it. And I realize we're dealing with weather in the game as well, but it just feels like something like you know what I mean? Like, it's like iron with the fumble. Like we could not be more harsh on him than he was. And I feel the same way about Devontae Adams for last week with those drops of like, you think you can say something to Devontae Adams where you're like, talking about his drops that he hasn't said to himself. So I just feel like 2 weeks in a row would be extreme for that. So I do anticipate that he would, kind of settle in a little bit more this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think a lot of the times fans don't realize what's going through players' minds, especially like most players in the NFL that are like upper echelon, top of the top kind of players are the ones that are the hardest on themselves and are like the perfectionists. So I don't think you have to worry about, Devontae Adams, he's slacking here. Like he just doesn't really care about football, so he's going to be dropping more footballs. I think we've seen a little bit more drops than I would have expected this year, especially like I've been going and rewatching games from this year to kind of like pick up on certain things that we may not be doing very well. And there's been multiple occasions where Devontae has dropped the ball, but I also think there's been occasions where Stafford could have thrown it better, and they're still getting that chemistry worked out. And some of this just feels like you've had, 12 years of Devontae Adams being dominant, being able to catch the football. And then now all of a sudden this stuff is kind of cropping up a little bit. I don't think you just are going to expect this to continue because you've had such a large sample size of Devontae Adams being so good. So I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I actually want to bring somebody in here. We have Peo time. He's joining.
Peo!
Peo? He's frozen.
Or he's just so tired.
Hello? Can you hear us, Peo?
He's on that hotel Wi-Fi.
I think he's going. I'm gonna take him off for a second.
I'm here on some weak hotel Wi-Fi, so
You look like a patient, Peo.
You're frozen. We can hear you, but we can't. Like you're not moving at all. We're just gonna remove you for a second. If you could try to leave and then come back.
Get out of here, Peo.
Yeah,
my turn.
Yeah, this is Sheriff Joe Baggs' time.
Yeah, what are you doing here? I'm filling in for you. What are you doing?
Let's see. Let's try this again. Can you hear us, Pale?
Oh, testing. Can you guys hear me?
There we go. Hey, that's better.
Okay, yeah, sweet. I just got off hotel Wi-Fi and onto my data, so we're doing good. Hey, what's up?
Sweet. Good to see you. This is the dynamic trio right here.
Yeah. Ooh. It's been a hot minute since the 3 of us streamed together.
I know, right? We were just talking about the Rams and Jaguars game, and we were kind of talking about Devontae Adams and like the drops and everything happening, kind of how we expect this game to go with Puka Nacua missing it with the injury and what the offensive approach could be, what the game plan is like. What are your thoughts on Devontae Adams and the offensive approach this game?
Yeah, so I was actually listening to you guys on my drive home. I was at work, but got done work a little bit early. So thanks for holding down the fort, Sheriff Joe, for me. And I'm glad that, maybe this was all just an elaborate plan to get Joe to hop on with us on first hour.
It was.
Feels real.
The plan has been exposed.
Yeah. But in regards to this game, we need the Puka power up as much as anybody, right? Who doesn't want Puka on there? But at the same time, I get pretty stoked for the rest of this wide receiving core, right? Like Puka, just because he is right now playing at such a high level, virtually unguardable, he demands a certain amount of targets, kind of headed his way. The game plan often features him quite prevalently. I'm excited to see Jordan Whittington more. I'm excited to see Tutu Atwell more. I'm excited to see Devontae Adams more. And we talked all off season long. We talked a lot of smack to other teams about the depth that this Rams wide receiving core has. It's time. Let's show the NFL what's up. Let's show the Rams. They're not a one pick. They're not a one trick pony team. No, they got so much weapons on this offense. Let's get in the end zone. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Calling it
Yeah,
deep shot to 2-2, first drive of the game. I'm calling it.
Oh yeah, I love to see it in London. Show the
Yeah.
London people what's up with Tutu Atwell. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for it, and I think you're right about the depth and everything we talked about in the offseason. I think you can be speaking about it so much, but now is the time to put it to test and see how good really is your depth. I think it's good. We've had these guys for a while. I'm not too concerned. It's not a shot against Puka. We have this. I know that we don't talk crazy about fantasy football, but Sports says, do y'all think Devontae Adams is a good play with Puka being out? And I'm assuming he means fantasy purposes. I think, yeah. I think that's a good play. I think also an underrated play for this game could be Jordan Whittington, just because I think Jordan Whittington's going to slide right into the role that Puka had. And even in the games where Puka's playing, Jordan Whittington will come in to give him a breather, and he'll do that stuff of inserting into the A gap, the B gap, whatever, and those kinds of things that McVay loves. So I think Whittington could be a good play. Sheriff Joe Bags was looking like he was signaling a Tutu Atwell play potentially.
Tutu, yeah, man. I actually personally I like obviously Devontae Adams being like, if you're asking about fantasy, Puka being out, clearly Devontae Adams is a great play. I mean, he's going to be the top guy. Yeah. But I think that Tutu is going to be a little bit more featured because of that. We've seen obviously pretty heavy sets with Puka and Devontae out on the field, and then mixing up our plethora of tight ends. So I think that we'll see a little bit more, maybe a little bit more 11 this week than maybe we're used to with Puka being on the field. So I think that's, I don't know. I feel like Whittington is definitely in that conversation as well, but I think Tutu is like, that's my guy this week of like, I think he's going to be the biggest beneficiary of Puka being out. And again, if your entire offense crumbles because one guy goes out, you were never that good to begin with. So I think this is a great opportunity ahead of the Rams bye week to get a little bit of confidence built in the rest of the depth outside of Puka.
Yeah, definitely excited to see how this all ends up turning out here. Porter says, I know we have a good offense, but why do they make it stressful and McVay make bad calls sometimes?
Because it's all AFC. It's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say that is definitely a big factor, the AFC thing. Mm-hmm. To me, going back and watching this team over the last, all the games that they've played this season, what I thought was confirmed in the fact that a lot of it is more execution than it is play calling, in my mind. There's been a lot of drops, not just from Devontae. There's been some uncharacteristic misthrows from Stafford on plays that you could either connect with a touchdown or is like a 20-yard play wheel route like we had against the Texans to Higbee. There's so many different things where I feel like a lot of it is more execution than it is we need to add in this guy from this team or we need to make better play calls. That's kind of what I've seen. What do you guys think?
Joe, you can go first.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that we have seen some uncharacteristic things, especially out of our offense. When like you mentioned the Stafford throws, there's been a few where it's like, my guy, man, like we can expect one a game. That's been average where you have one throw a game from one throw from Stafford where you're like, what the heck was he doing? But it's been like 3 or 4 a game. So that's certainly a concern there. And then I think in the along the offensive line, obviously we have seen some mix ups there with different guys being hurt at different times. Obviously we're still dealing with that with Big Rob being out again this week, but the run lanes haven't been there. It's kind of funny that everybody's like, dude, Corum's getting all these explosive and Kyron's not. And it's like, yeah, but watch the blocking when Corum's out there. He's got a big old hole out there and Kyron's trying to run into the backs of KDOT. You know what I mean? So it's I think it is a lot of execution. We have just not seen our rhythm be hit yet. But, I mean, I really do stand by that AFC thing. I mean, this is going to be our 5th AFC game in the first 7 weeks of the season. That's crazy. And we've barely ever played these teams. McVay's barely ever played these teams. Sure, it's NFL, whatever. But I also think that if you look at the play calling from Philadelphia and San Francisco, those 2 games, they feel different than all the AFC games we've played. It's a whole different vibe, a whole different approach to it. But it is, like you said, the execution, I think, has been the biggest thing. And we saw a lot of this last year, dude. So I'm not pounding any kind of panic buttons until minimum that Seahawks game. That's the one I'm kind of penciling in of like, if we still suck by here, then maybe it's maybe we should be scared. But we guys got to get through the bye week, and then I'll reevaluate. I guess that's kind of what.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I definitely agree with Joe. And we've said this before. We're going to say it again here right now. This Rams team's best football is in front of them. And we still haven't seen a complete game from this team. I actually think we haven't seen the best of Kyron Williams yet, even though he had a really good game minus the fumble versus the 49ers. But like, I think Kyron Williams has some big games coming up. I know Puka has some big games coming up. I'm optimistic about Stafford and the rest of this Rams offense to really start working it through those red zone, inefficiencies. And I think it's important to note that the way that this schedule is laid out, as Joe pointed out, with the AFC heavy, combined with just the Rams' philosophy of not playing starters in the preseason, it made for this kind of roller coaster, wonky wheel, if you will, start to the season. And the fact that they're 4-2, I'm really, I'm happy about that. Obviously, they're a couple plays away from being 6-0, which is crazy. But I think what a lot of Ram fans, and I'll include myself with this category of Ram fans, they're looking for that statement win of like, oh, the Rams. Oh, the Rams. And even though they beat the Colts and they've played some good football, they haven't had that statement win that was like, oh, okay, yeah, put the NFL on notice where the Rams are here. And I think in the offseason, between bragging about the depth of the wide receiving position and also hyping up this Rams pass rush really well, we kind of came into this season being like, okay, the Rams are going to be one of those teams that just like dominates, right? And we haven't really seen that yet. So I think that I do think those games are coming. I'm optimistic. I'm also prepared for every game to come down to one score and just accept that's Rams football right now.
Dubs are dubs, dude. Dubs are dubs.
Yeah, that's definitely good points that you bring up there. I can understand both sides of it, of like, you come out with a win and that's all that matters. Every win counts the same. But I can also understand the fact that, like, the potential of this Rams team is a team that can blow out teams, especially like the Baltimore Ravens. I think the funny thing about it is a lot of people look at the Rams record with it being 4-2 right now, and I think it surprises them. And even it surprises me to an extent in the fact that they are 4-2 and they do feel like a winning team. But I think so much of the focus has been about the things they haven't been doing that's kind of clouding the fact that we're 4-2 right now, about to head into the bye week without even really playing that many NFC teams to this point. And that's definitely something that can be really encouraging. And the fact, like you said, Peo, like a lot of the stuff being execution issues, that should be encouraging, rather than being like, we're executing as good as we can, but our talent isn't good, or we have great talent, but our coaching is just terrible. I think this is the best position to be in when you can see the flashes, but they're just not quite there yet. And as long as you stay healthy, those things should be able to be ironed out as the season goes on, because this is a team that has a lot of veterans on it and has really good coaching. I think they've shown us more often than not recently that they finish stronger than they start. So if that were to apply this time, they already are off to a good start and they should be able to finish strong.
Totally.
Yeah. Being the best team in week 7 doesn't win you anything. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we can get better over the course of the season, and it actually works out better that way.
Yeah,
but you want to be the best
Joe,
team to start the season.
But Joe, I want Kyle Brandt to put me I want the Rams at number 1 on the power rankings in week 7.
Does he do power rank? I don't watch him.
I don't even know if he does. We don't watch power rankings.
I can't say, no power rankings at all. Those are the worst things ever.
I just think it's when people are like, yeah, do you see my team? Like, they're on the power rankings, top 5 in week 5.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you care?
They're so subjective. Yeah, but I think this is a good point that Porter brought up. He says, I know that we're bad now, but this is the best start we've had since 2021.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, you can focus on those things that we're doing wrong, that we're misexecuting and frustrating things. But this is really like the best kind of problems you can be having when you're being able to get wins and there's so much better football that's on the way. So I'm definitely interested to see how this goes. I'm really excited. Like, I want to get this video out soon that I've been working on that's been talking about the issues that we've had. I think it could highlight to a lot of people like how good we could be if we get these things cleaned up. So I'm excited to get that out soon. But kind of we've talked about the offense a good amount, just given the Puka Nacua injury. I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on the Rams defense versus the Jaguars offense, who has had a really good run game, but a lot of the feeling from Jaguars fan base is that their passing game hasn't quite been unlocked yet, specifically with Travis Hunter, like not being as big of a superstar as they thought. And that's partly usage. That's partly just not getting the ball, this, that, the other thing. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on Rams defense versus Jaguars offense, things you want to see, the things they need to do, that kind of thing.
All yours, Joe.
Oh man, all right. I actually, a lot of people are bringing up when it comes to the Jags offense of Travis Hunter not necessarily being fully involved yet. I always kind of expected that he would be a slow introduction to the NFL, considering both sides of the ball. That's a lot to take in for a rookie. I mean, you can be awesome in college, man. These are the bigs, though, and it's a different ball game. So I think that the intake of learning not just your own defensive and offensive scheme, but also the NFL's offensive and defensive schemes that you're going against. I think that's just an overload of intake. So I think that, sure, that I do anticipate that eventually Travis Hunter is going to be one of those players where he can wreck games. The guy that I'm looking at right now that I'm surprised isn't wrecking games or even into that conversation right now is Brian Thomas, who had an incredible year last year. And I mean, obviously we know that they can run the football with ETN. I mean, he's looking really good this year, up like 5.3 yards per carry. It's crazy. But I think that overall, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I like Trevor Lawrence. I'm a big fan. I think he's absolutely incredible. I just think he's been in a rough spot. But I mean, look at him now, dude. I mean, Liam Cohen comes in, new OC, new DC, new head coach, new everything. And he's looking a lot better than he has in a long time, man. So I think for the Rams, it's going to be a lot of just don't get got where you shouldn't get got, which is in the passing game against the Jags. That's not where they make their money. So I think that there's a lot of pressure on the Rams secondary to kind of close that up. But the additions of Puna and Nate to the defense has shown massive improvements for the run defense for this team. It's very, very obvious to anybody who paid attention last year to Rams football. And I think if you bottle up ETN, you'll be okay in this one. But get after Lawrence. I'm so nervous about like 3rd and 6 with Trevor Lawrence and not spying. That's what worries me. I feel like he's going to pick up so many first downs with his legs. That's what I'm not excited about. That's my main thing of like, watch out for that, dude. But as long as we can stuff ETN and this isn't a breakout game for Brian Thomas or Travis Hunter, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah. I want to see like when we're watching this game, I want to see Trevor Lawrence on the sideline looking at the tablet as much as possible,
smashing him head.
That's what I want to see. So I am hoping that Chris Shula can dial up some blitz packages, some nice defensive schemes here. That when you see Trevor Lawrence on the sideline, he's just like, man, like, am I holding it upside down? Like, what? That's what I want to see. I want to see a confused Trevor Lawrence on Sunday.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm excited to see Travis Hunter. The receiver that actually scares me more is Brian Thomas Jr. He's got all the tools to be an elite wide receiver. I know he got off to a slow start this year, but I do think that's a matchup that the Rams it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And we'll see if the Rams, pass rush can put pressure on Lawrence so that they won't be able to have kind of their second level development of their offense. But yeah, I'm stoked for this game. For me in my time zone, it's at 10 a.m. Atlantic time. So,
not bad.
Not bad at all. I'm going to wake up, have breakfast, and get ready for my watch party.
Dude, that's so funny. I just want to jump in there on Brian Thomas real quick. Over 13 yards per reception, 7 yards per target. That's a difference, man. I mean, he leads his team in yards per catch, but he's like 4th in yards per target. That's a massive difference, man. I think it's Trevor Lawrence is having a hard time getting him the football. And when he does, it works out really well, but that connection is having some trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely going to be interesting to watch how all that plays out, because I keep having flashbacks to heading into the Eagles game. If you guys remember, the whole talk was about AJ Brown and the passing offense didn't get going. In first half, we looked great. I really liked our game plan that we had. Second half, AJ Brown really broke out, had a big game. Since then, he really hasn't done to the level of a performance that we saw against the Rams. That's so like part of me is like, I hope that we don't see that again with either Travis Hunter or Brian Thomas Jr., because we did see that. But I also think that we're going to be able to put our guys in good positions to where at times they're going to have their plays and they're going to do that. They're good receivers, but as long as you don't let them just completely destroy the game, I really don't care. Like, just get out with a win is the big thing. I get a little bit worried with them when thinking about like deep shots, because they're both good field stretchers in that case. And I can see like a pass interference downfield if they take a deep shot, whatever. You'll have those there, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how all of that plays out. I just think we got to go in expecting, yeah, they'll make their plays, but just don't let them wreck the game is the biggest thing.
Honestly, that kind of feels like Shula's whole scheme. You know what I mean? Like, even in the beginning of the Ravens game, I mean, 2 plays to start the game, Derrick Henry's got 11, and it's like, okay, hold on, everybody, relax. But then it's like, I mean, it feels like we are able to got between the 20s, but it does feel like the screws get really tightened up when a team starts getting close. Not even in the 20s, like when a team gets to like the 35, it feels like Shula starts ramping up the intensity a little bit.
Definitely.
Well, and I think it's important to recognize that like both the Jaguars and the Rams have benefited from some games where they've won the turnover battle, and that often can be the difference in the NFL, especially modern NFL. And if the Rams can take care of the football, and if they can, force Lawrence to make some bad throws or maybe get the ball on the ground because of a Nate Landman peanut punch, I'm ready for it. And I could see a turnover, at the wrong time being the difference in this game. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch there. I know Sheriff Joe Bags talked about this a little bit on the Tuna and the Sheriff show of like, really an interesting thing is going to be able to watch is the Jaguars are turnover machines this year. Like that is what they do on defense. They lead the league in turnovers.
Yep.
But for me, it's very interesting because they obviously have the 14 interceptions, and Devin Lloyd, their middle linebacker, has 4 of them. He also has 2 forced fumbles, and he's going to be missing this game.
He's also in America with us.
He is where we want him to be. Honestly, we don't want him in London.
Not all of us, but you
yeah.
Someone invite him over to watch the game.
Yeah, and root for the Rams. We're gonna put a Rams jersey on him for sure.
Yeah,
but that's gonna be interesting to watch just because he has so many of their turnovers and their takeaways. But also on top of the fact, like Stafford coming into this game only has 2 interceptions, and he's been playing so well. He hasn't been putting the ball in harm's way that much. And I think this is one of the best starts to his career with the Rams in terms of just like turnover-worthy plays. There hasn't been a lot of those. So it's going to be fun to watch how all that plays out. Are we going to be seeing maybe double moves from Tutu Atwell or Devontae Adams to make them kind of aggressively bite on a curl route and then take it up the field? Like I think there are going to be opportunities where you can maybe take some shots down the field, which is exciting.
Definitely. It does feel like a team that is very aggressive but can get got in the air. It feels like pump fakes, double moves, all that kind of stuff is going to be potential for big scores. I want to see Tutu hit a little breakdown there and then dart off, dude. Because who's going to catch that? Come on now. He looks like he's jogging, man. I talked about that on after that 88-yard touchdown pass. Looked like he was jogging past everybody, and then I realized it's like, oh, it's because the NFL doesn't make material that can handle that speed. I get it.
Exactly. Not durable enough.
Yeah, we need the road to create some pants for Tutu so they can run full speed.
In real time with that long touchdown to Tutu against the Colts, I was like, run, like go faster, we need this touchdown. And then I was like, he's jogging and he's outrunning these guys.
Flying by everybody at a leisurely pace. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When I did the watch party for that, for some reason, like I instinctively was like, he's got Tutu, speed, go.
Yes.
Love it. We need to see a Tutu Atwell touchdown celebration with the whole team doing this. Like, that would be so – I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet. But This one's a cool comment. It says, "Imagine if Stafford no looks Hunter. That would be like a welcome to the NFL moment for Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
We get a little no look from Stafford. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. That'd be
A
sick.
no look feels very real against an aggressive defense. This is what it's not just double moves and pump fake stuff like that. You get no look on that. I mean, we all saw the clip from the Super Bowl where you can see the safety bite on the look, and then the ball goes past him to Cup. Like you can see it happen in real time. It's awesome. So yeah, I feel like we at least get one this week.
Yeah.
That feels good.
I feel like that it's actually pretty common. It's just
Mhm.
depending on how much the broadcast wants to cover it. Actually, like
Yeah.
if you go back and watch games, it's like he'll have 3 or 4 a game where he either looks off a safety or no looks, and it's just like I think we're spoiled as Rams fans.
Is that why he's missing balls? Because he's not even looking at the receiver?
We got a question or a comment from Porter here. He says, "I'm nervous for our special teams. They're going to cost us the games last week versus the Ravens. We should cost 4 turnovers. The refs did not throw the flag during the first punt." We're just going to go off the fact he's talking about special teams to start here, and that being a concern, because that obviously has been a big concern for the Rams and something they've tried to clean up. Last week against the Ravens, we saw improvement. We didn't see a block, which was good. I still get nervous every time we do any kind of field goal, to be honest with you guys. But what are your guys' overall thoughts on the special teams heading into this game? Are we going to finally see just like clean operations, no worries this game? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
In the rainy London, I'm not sure, but I want to defend my boy Cardi here for a second. I'm going to go ahead and say that miss because he's been, I mean, lights out. He's statistically speaking, you look at like a minimum number of kicks. He's the 3rd most accurate kicker in Rams history. I think that it is realistic to say that miss that he's had two balls where they did get off, and then they went to the right. I like to throw out there that maybe in his brain, he's a little bit worried about a block and his motion's going a little bit quick.
Yeah.
So if we can get some real good blocking consistently up front, then I think that those mistakes from Cardi will be minimized. I really don't think it's the fact that he's kicking off anything like that, and that's messing up his whole rhythm. I don't think that a pro would do that. I don't think that could ruin a pro by just doing a separate thing. So I think that the reason that Cardi's having a little bit of difficulty is that his rhythm with wanting to get the ball from, Ethan Evans holding it and gone, that rhythm is messed up because of the timing of having so many kicks blocked this year. So I want to defend Cardi there for a little bit. But again, I mean, you have to block for it. You know what I mean? And Cardi shouldn't be worried about that. Your job is to kick it that way, dude. Like, kick it between those guys, man. If somebody blocks it, that's not on you kind of thing. So, but I do feel like Cardi is actually better than Rams fans. Rams fans are done. I'm not on that.
Which is weird to me. Yeah.
It is too quick to be off of Cardi, by the way.
Yeah. We don't want another situation with like the Brett Maher or Lucas Haverstick carousel. Right. Yeah. No, I don't want to get on that ride again. I'll say this. The more and more I think about the kicking operation, my concern is definitely more in the actual operation, like the snap to kick, right? Because there's so much in a field goal that can go into why it went, wide left or wide right. Sorry, tongue tied there. Like there's so much good. Like if it gets blocked, okay, it gets blocked. But I think my concern is, are they fixing the mechanic? From long snap, place hold, kick up, good, right? Mm-hmm. Keep it simple. And when it's interesting. In the like 3 times McVay has kind of talked about it, once on the Coach McVay show, a little more in depth, and then 2, he was asked about it in the media. He didn't dodge the question, but he definitely gave it like a very direct and then talk about something else kind of answer, where he's just like, yeah, no, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. All right, next question. Like it was just sort of like that. And that leads me to believe that it's definitely something they've caught something on tape that they're like, okay, that's what we got to fix. And I do have faith in this coaching staff, which again, it's nice to have faith in your coaching staff as a fan.
Well, I also like the comment there real quickly that McVay was like, he's like, no, I'm ready to stick with. Stick with Cardi.
Yeah.
Like he was like very like, no, why would
Yeah.
no, we're not
Yeah.
thinking about changing kickers.
Brushed
No.
it off. Yeah.
Mhm. There's been so many good things that Josh Carty has done for the Rams, even going back to last year. What do you guys remember the specific number? It was either 19 or 26 field goals made in a row
I thought it was
last year. How what did you say?
I thought it was 17. I don't know.
17. Either way, he was on a hot streak.
Yeah.
And he even made a 58-yard field goal last year. I think we're so quick to forget what a player did for us, but also on top of this isn't like Cardi's getting perfect protection and he's just straight up missing kicks. Like
Mhm.
I think that would be another story if he just had a bad year this year, you could consider it. There's been so many elements that have been going wrong with this, and for me, if I'm a kicker and I'm worried about the protection not holding up with what I've seen, like you're already thinking about so much as a kicker of making it go through. That definitely plays a part into it. Like, what is he supposed to do if a guy breaks through the line and blocks it? So, like, I don't know. I definitely think we need to give it more time. We need to figure out the protection for sure. There was a weird kick last week against the Ravens that he made, but it was like it came off so weird, and I was like, oh, like I don't know what happened there, but
I think it was tipped.
It was. Oh, really?
I thought so.
Okay.
Maybe.
Either way, I am not getting off Josh Carty. Plus, it's like, who would you bring in if you got rid of him, and what kicker would be able to do better with this? Like, I think you just got to stick with him. And he talks about this is the perfect game for a knuckleball kickoff. I agree, especially with wet conditions. One of these times soon, we're going to get one of those turnovers on a kickoff. It's gotten close, especially like the Niners. We've had an opportunity still.
Niners weren't ready, dude. Niners weren't ready at all. Eagles were not ready for it, man. They were messing up all over the place. If I'm going to pick out anything on special teams, though, that I think is something we need to work on, it's return. I just it never feels like we're in a spot to get a big return. It just feels like we're going to catch it, get maybe a 5 extra, and then that's it. So I want to see a big return eventually.
Which is definitely something we saw Jordan Whittington doing a lot last year in the tail end.
Man.
That was
X is coming.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if we can get one of those returns here soon. Because even going back to the Texans game week 1, I forgot Jordan Whittington had like a 70, 80-yard return, and they called it back because of a holding. And
damn you, Troy!
Is it back to Farrell Cooper? Is the last time the Rams got a kickoff return for a touchdown?
I believe so.
Wow,
which is great because they've had a punt return because that against the Vikings. But while we're on the topic of Jordan Whittington here, because he says Jordan Whittington revenge game, he had so many opportunities last week, needs to produce. That's going to kind of take us in to our Over Rams action segment here. Here's a little teaser graphic. Jordan Whittington is actually on the cover for this Over Rams action. That's a little hint. So if you guys are new to the show, welcome in first off. But second off, we are going to get into Over Rams Action, our segment this week. And it's basically just kind of a play off of what Rich Eisen does with his Overreaction Monday segment with Chris Brockman. Basically, potential hot takes being pitched to both Payo Time and Rams Showcase and you guys in the chat. And you guys will all react if it is a fair take or if it's an Over Rams Action. So sticking to the theme of Jordan Whittington. My first one here is we will see Jordan Whittington's first touchdown of his career this week.
I'm gonna say Over Rams Action. Just because I think this is a Devontae and like Tutu type of game and Kyron. I would love to see Jordan Whittington get a touchdown. I don't think it's this week. Just my vibe. Happy to be wrong.
I'm kind of feeling the same way. I don't think it's impossible. Obviously, it's not impossible, but it feels like a situation where he's going to get to like the 3 and then Kyron's going to run it in. You know, it's like kind of how I feel about that. So I don't know.
I love this comment.
Yeah, normal Rams. That's how
that's hilarious.
Maybe.
I don't know why going into this game. Like, I don't know. We'll see if a touchdown happens. I feel like Whittington is going to have the big game. Maybe Atwell has the big play of like 70 yards down the field. Like that makes total sense with what he can do to a defense. I think Whittington's going to get a lot of targets this week. and I think he's going to have a lot of catches. And I'm going to say he has over 80 yards for sure. Like, I don't know why I just have that feeling with Jordan Whittington. I think Devontae Adams will be used too, but something feels right about Whittington this week to me. I don't know.
It's just going to be Davis Allen scoring 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, all the salutes. The general. He says it's not reasonable, but it won't come in the – or unreasonable, but it won't come in the red zone, I think. So we could see an explosive play then. And then – I see Whittington being used on the screens and short bunch of formation stuff. Puka runs a lot. That's the thing for me. I think Whittington is going to slide right into that Puka role. I just think it's going to be a thing where Whittington isn't going to be the primary on most plays like Puka will, but he'll be doing a lot of stuff that Puka does. That's kind of how I see it. But that's how we're going to start off here. Continuing on this Nacua injury theme, Nacua being hurt is a blessing in disguise. And to give a little context, I know I've talked to you guys about this a little bit. Give context to the people in the chat. I'm saying this is a blessing in disguise because it gives Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford time to work up their chemistry things, some of the woes that they've had this season, get on the same page a little bit more. This could be the first game that we see Devontae as the primary read in most plays, which we haven't seen. And I think this is going to be refreshing because we know Stafford, as great as he is, he likes to lock in on his best receiver. Going back from Puka Nacua to Cooper Kupp to Megatron, like this is a thing. So with him being out, I think this could be a blessing in disguise because we're going to see how many weapons can be used in this offense rather than it just being Puka and get some chemistry ironed out. Is that an over Rams action, or what do you guys think?
Dude, not at all, man. We're about to Paula Abdul this week. We're just going to take a quick step back, man, with Puka being out, but it's for the benefit of the rest of the season. It's like if you had to pick one game for Puka to be out, kind of just pick a 6:30 a.m. kickoff London game, right? I mean, that's the one you would choose if you had to, right before the bye week. So I think it's kind of perfect situation for the rest of the team to need to gain some chemistry and confidence as well. I mean, Tutu, Jordan, X, Momp, these guys are, I don't want to say they're not confident right now in their abilities, but I think that it will be something where we can look back. We'll be looking back in weeks 15, 16, 17, be like, oh man, but if Puka wasn't hurt against the Jags, maybe this doesn't happen. You know, I really feel that way. So obviously we want Puka Nacua to be out on the football field, but we're playing the cards we are dealt. And I think that ultimately come December, January time, this will be a bit of a good thing.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think that when the term blessing in disguise, when you think Nacua not being in the game, blessing in disguise, like that doesn't register right away. But then when you think of, like we just talked about earlier in the show, this Rams wide receiving core that has probably the most depth it's had in at least the McVay era. I'm thinking back to that. I think we've had some good wide receivers, but all that to say, yeah, I think that, keep him healthy and think of it. The Saints are going to have to face Puka Nacua probably when he's had 2 weeks of rest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a fresh Puka Nacua now, because that's also the thing is if Puka plays in this game, is he going to be sitting at 60% for the large majority of the rest of the season? So you go pull down to 0%, so just park him for a week, and then now he's going to be 80 to 90% the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I think it is one of those things, and Rams have handled injuries like this. Like Tutu was good enough to go last week, held him because it's like, let's just be smart. So the fact that it was news that Puka is not playing was like, yeah, it's like, we all expected this, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't surprised by that at all. So I think that that's kind of where my brain is at with it, of like, don't do something stupid so that you can beat your final AFC team of your, you know what I mean? Like, just get to the NFC action with a healthy Puka. That's what
the AFC South, because that's what we bring.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting point. He probably says Tutu did a Philly special with Stafford. I got Stafford catching a touchdown. We have to trick Liam Cohen, who was with the Rams last year, and know the book. Yeah. Well, that would be interesting to see. I don't really want to put Stafford in harm's way, but if we can get a clean look for the Stafford touchdown pass, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Every time we run that play, it doesn't go well, man. Everybody throws a bad ball to Stafford. We did it in the Super Bowl, and Stafford's like diving for a ball.
Yeah.
Need somebody to rein that in a little bit,
And then we got Tony saying major blessing in disguise at the right time too. Yeah, I think this times up perfectly. And I think it'd be a different question if you knew Puka was going to miss the rest of the year. I think the fact that he's just going to miss 1 to 2 games max is like, that's the most ideal thing that could happen, especially with how long Puka was on the ground last week. Like, I was kind of concerned.
Dude,
but
the grimacing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this could, and it was almost non-contact in a way. So just glad that it ended up turning out the way that it did.
You brought up a good point. Let me jump in real quick. You brought up a good point with it missing maybe 1 or 2 games, because after the bye, that's a game against the Saints. If he's still not feeling 100%, it's okay to sit him for that one too. Then we got 2 division games, so we want him for those, but we can give him a full almost a month if we wanted to.
Yeah. I'm definitely not in a rush to get him back, especially McVay always talks about return to performance, not return to play. And I'm so with that, especially with a guy like Puka Nacua. You don't want him playing banged up. I think if this was you're heading into the Super Bowl this week, Puka would try to play, no doubt about it. And he would do his best through it. But this is week 7. So you don't need to rush a guy. And it's against an AFC team. It's not divisional. There's so many factors where I think this is the right time. Yeah.
The perfect situation.
Yeah, because imagine if this happened after the bye week and it's like, I mean, that makes it a little more complicated. But before we get into our next one, Ludacris says, yo, I haven't seen you 3 together in a long time. Wow, great to see y'all. This is as much of a blessing to you guys as it is to us. I don't know why it's been so long since the 3 of us has done something like this, but we said it at the beginning of the show. Maybe we were just kind of lying to Joe here just to get him to come on to the show. Peo time.
Oh, Peo's busy. Can you fill in?
Yeah. We YouTube, we parent trapped via YouTube.
That's it.
Honestly, if it can get Joe on here, I'm down with it.
We got an Paula Abdul and a Parent Trap reference on the show. That's
crazy. Who had that on the bingo card?
Right.
All right. Number 3, still talking about Puka here in a little bit of a more dim light. With Puka's injury, it is now confirmed he will not get 2,000 receiving yards this year. He was on pace for this for a while. People were talking about it. Do you guys think with him being hurt, he no longer has that chance to get 2,000 yards?
I don't think it was ever going to happen, man. I don't know.
2,000
is crazy, dude. Like, you got to average a nuts number every week to pull off 2K. It's nuts.
Yeah. But he was averaging that, to be fair.
True.
Yeah, but I think this offense is going to diversify a lot as the season goes on, especially after the bye week. And so, I think it would have been an over-Rams action for him to still get the 2,000 yards, but definitely with missing some time, I don't think it happens.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not the worst thing. You can have somebody not go for 2,000 yards and win a Super Bowl. Like, we're not here to have accolades, but I just thought it was an interesting talking point because Puka was just on a crazy pace. To be fair, I think all of us Rams fans knew, even with the pace being where it was, like, you were likely going to have Puka miss at least a game this season, just given the play style of him as a receiver. He's had injuries in the past, and he plays so physical, where it's like I'd be more surprised if he made it throughout an entire season without missing a game. So,
yeah, well, I mean, in the best wide receiver season of all time, didn't see Super Cooper get 2K. So I don't
know. 53 yards away.
Yeah,
what a season that! Like, we're so spoiled as Rams fans. Like, you go from Cooper Kupp, and then he leaves, and it was somewhat a smooth transition because you just got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams now. Like,
dude, what a Marshall Faulk to Steven Jackson transition with
right? Yeah, seriously,
awesome. I love it.
All right, number 4, someone not named Kyron Williams or Blake Corum will score a rushing touchdown this week.
Dude, lock it in.
Ooh,
let's do this. Lock it in, dude.
Okay,
I got a name for you too. Peo, go first.
Well, no, I'm not ready to lock it in yet because I'm thinking about, like, you're either talking an end around to like Tutu or Whittington, or maybe Terrence Ferguson. Would Mumpfield no, I don't think Mumpfield would get a chance to do that.
Probably not in this one, not this early. My
No.
pick, dude, I think that we do see it. We have seen a willingness for the ball to be handed off to one rookie tight end, Terrence Ferguson, man. So and he's gained nothing on any of them, but
Yeah.
it has not gone well. But it's going to be one of those, man, where somebody lays the perfect block in there, and it's going to be like a McClendon throwing the perfect block to spring Ferguson, and it's going to be like from the 5. It's going to be like 3rd and 2 from the 5, and we're just like, it's going to be a situation where if he doesn't get it, we're going to go for it anyway, kind of thing. So like, might as well try, and he's going to pull something off, dude. That's my pick.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the theme of Jordan Whittington. I really can see Jordan Whittington on an end around touchdown, but we got Darren saying he thinks Xavier Smith could get an end around touchdown. That's honestly not a bad call. He's a good little X. He's a good gadget guy. Yeah,
he's the X factor.
Honestly, if you talk about Xavier, man,
I could see it, but like you said, Terrence Ferguson could even do it. I could even see like 5 yards away from the end zone, we have Ferguson coming in to do like kind of one of those motion blocks that our tight ends like to do, and then he just takes the ball, gets in the end zone. It just feels. He does. It feels like this is one of those weeks where we could see a rushing touchdown, not from Kyron Williams or Blake Corum, but from one of our receivers or tight ends. So
I'm still gonna go team. I think that's an over Rams action. I think Kyron and Corum are gonna clean up in the red zone.
Yeah, I could see that.
Stafford's going to run the ball 70 yards for a touchdown.
We're going to have a Stafford read option like Joe Flacco had yesterday.
Yeah. I want to see a race between Joe Flacco and Stafford. I think Stafford can take him.
I'd pay so much money for that.
Yeah.
As long as
he could beat him if it's a celebration.
I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
If you have Stafford celebrating, he'd beat him for sure.
Yeah, he just needs to throw a touchdown first.
All right. Number 5, the 5th and final over Rams action. We say the Rams will sack Trevor Lawrence 5 times. Keep in mind, last week he took 7 sacks against the Seahawks. Over Rams action or fair?
Bump those numbers up, dude. Those
are. Ooh.
I'm going 9, dude. Let's give London another 9-sack defense, man. They did it last week with the Broncos. Poor Justin Fields. Now this week, poor Trevor Lawrence, dude. Sorry about your bad luck having to play against a BY and B8, dude. That's crazy.
What do you say, Peo? This, huh? We got him?
Peo? Peo, blink if you're okay.
No, I wasn't kidnapped in the sketchy hotel. Don't worry, I'm okay.
We were just wondering your thoughts on this one. Is it an overreaction or is it fair?
No, not an overreaction at all. Yeah, I think this defensive line is still waiting for their statement game. It's coming. They've been playing good all year. This could be the statement game right here, right now.
Nice.
Yeah. I could definitely see it. I mean, Rams pass rush, you can argue, is like one of the best in the league. Like it even reflects in the stats, and we could see that happen again. Although I do think that the Jaguars are going to really try to focus on making sure that kind of performance doesn't happen again. But if the Rams can get up on them and force them to have to pass the ball more, that only gives you more opportunities to get some sacks. And who knows, maybe we get our first Braden Fisk sack this week. Ooh. That's what I'm kind of looking at. I just want to give a shout out here to Cool Bro. I haven't seen him in a while. He says, "Hi, Peo and Sheriff Joe." What a classic! Yeah. Dude, love you, Cool Bro. I still remember the one time, Joe, when he was on your stream, and he brought up like a Stephen King book or something. Dude, Cool Bro. He's so classic. So good to see him in the house.
Good things happen when Cool Bro's around, man. It's a good time all the time. Love it.
We also have Darren saying sack number depends on the score at half.
Oh,
I can see that.
Yeah.
He says over 40% pressure rate, though. Yeah, I think we'll definitely at least see a good amount of pressures. Mm-hmm. And then I like the conductor. Old Man Ghost or Bruce says hello to all of us. Thanks for coming in, Bruce. That's going to do it for my over Rams actions. But Sheriff Joe Bags actually came up with a what's more likely, but it's just the Rams. So this will be the first time Peo and I get to react to this as well as you guys.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the floor here, Sheriff Joe.
All right. What's more likely? Pew, pew, pew. Use that.
I love the
not
sound
bad,
effects.
honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. When we make a drop, we gotta add that in.
Yeah.
All right. I know Rams House UFC. You've at least kind of seen these. I know you didn't. You
Yeah.
didn't want to study or anything. But Peo, these are fresh for you, dude. Fresh, man.
Fresh
What
eyes.
is more likely? This one not necessarily just for this game, but we're going to open with what is more likely: Terrence Ferguson or Mump getting the first touchdown. Their first touchdown. Who scores first, Ferg or Mump?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Ferg.
I could see Ferguson for sure, especially given the end around thing that we talked about. I don't know why. Do you guys know last year, Demarcus Robinson, when we were like 2 yards out, he scored like 7 touchdowns on the same route, where it's like a little quick release inside and then outside. I could see that with Mumfield, or even like what we saw in the preseason with Stetson Bennett, the touchdown that he had. Something like that. If either of them were to score, I could see Ferguson, but I could see Mumfield getting involved there. So I'm going to go Mumfield to kind of go against the grain.
Fair
Okay.
enough, man. Each of them with 1 reception on the year. Ferguson, absolutely crazy catch. That was absolutely awesome against the Niners. Mump getting in there as well. I actually like that play call. I think that he's going to be able to break one of those out one day. It's just going to take a little screen or something like that. We'll probably pull one from like the 20, and then he's just going to, be able to wiggle his way in. So
Yeah.
He's a great athlete. Best like athlete tight end by far.
For a 7th round pick, I mean, we thought that Pooh Paul was the steal of this draft. Turns out it's Bump, dude. Turns out Pooh Paul's like on a real team. So that's crazy, man. Crazy. All right,
Cool.
number 2. What is more? Oh wait, do we have answers from
I
anybody?
was just gonna. No, we don't have answers. I just thought this was funny. Cool, bro says I'm calling it 100-0 in England Rams win.
I like that prediction.
That would be a statement win, wouldn't it?
Feels real.
Yeah.
Feels real. Yeah.
All right.
Number 2. Let's likely Tutu Atwell, wide receiver, scoring 1 touchdown, or Brian Thomas gets 100 yards.
Ooh, that's a
That's
good
a
one.
Good one.
It's hard.
Jeez.
I made it and was like, I don't know.
But they have to know.
Honestly,
That's-
those are the ones those are the ones that are the good ones when you don't actually know.
Yeah.
The Ram fan bias in me wants to say Tutu Atwell scores 1 touchdown. I do think, though, the football fan in me is telling that Rams fan in me it's going to be Brian Thomas gets 100+ yards, and there's this internal conflict inside of me. But I'm going to go Brian Thomas.
This is such a good one. I want to do the Rich Eisen cop out. We're saying like both could happen, but I can't. I gotta pick one.
Yeah.
And man, that's so hard. I don't know. Has there been? Do you guys know off the top of your head a game this year or multiple games where Brian Thomas has had 100 yards? I would assume so.
He has not done well this year. His numbers are not.
I think he only had 1, and it was last game. I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong with that.
I can find out.
Oh man, that's so hard. That's a really good one, though. I would say, man, I'm kind of struggling with what Peo was struggling with. It's like the Rams fan in me wants to say Tutu Atwell, especially because I could really see a deep shot this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm just gonna go with the bias part. Probably Tutu Atwell scores a touchdown. That's my vote.
Nice.
All right, and so far this season, Brian Thomas's best output: week 1, 90 yards.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
Week two, 80, and then hasn't broken 55 since.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's keep that going.
Yeah. All right. Number 3. What's more likely? The Rams miss the playoffs, or the Jags are not the last AFC team the Rams play this season.
Oh, because that would mean they're going to the Super Bowl. I like
Yes,
it.
sir.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. You know what we're going to say.
Second one.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even close.
Maybe too easy. Maybe too easy.
A little, but you had to throw an easy one. Like you've had hard ones. We had to have a little bit of a break.
Good point. Speaking of not easy, number 4. What's more likely, dude? Travis Hunter gets 100 yards receiving and a pick, or the Rams win by at least 30.
Jeez.
Joe coming in hot at 4.
I like this one.
I'm gonna say, as much as I don't want to, I'm gonna say the first one. I mean, I see the Rams being able to win by 30, but coming in a weird kind of rain game in London, I guess it could happen. I'm just gonna say it's more likely that Hunter has 100 yards and gets a pick, but the Rams can still win in that output. It doesn't
True.
mean they lose. So
Yeah.
I pick number 1.
I'm going to say the Rams win by 30. I think
Wow.
Travis Hunter. First off, I think Stafford has just protected the ball really well this year.
Yeah.
And Travis Hunter is still a rookie. You know, he's a talented player for sure. Excited to see his career go on. I don't think this is the game, though, where Travis Hunter is like, oh, yeah, I'm a really awesome wide receiver and an awesome corner. Eat it. I think that the Rams win by 30 is more likely.
Which, to be fair to everybody who's in the chat, if you guys have watched this, Payo Time is very adamant on the fact that the Rams aren't the type of team that like to play games with blowouts. They like to play it closer. So that's the interesting thing with this answer. Yeah. If we see
Dude,
it,
I'm telling you.
I would not be mad if we had a blowout.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. But I said it on Ram Showcase this week, and it's like you go up 7 or 14 points against the Baltimore Ravens team who cannot throw the football on you. Why would you be pulling out a bunch of stuff to run the score up? Just get out of there. Just get out of there with a win.
Yeah.
You know you're going to win. Like, you're up 2 possessions. You're good. So I do think that Travis Hunter, by the end of his career, we're going to be talking about this is how many 100-yard receiving games he had that also included a turnover. I think that we're just going to see like a stat like that. It's going to be like 11 or something like that as he's getting like inducted or something crazy. I don't know. I think he's really good. All right, my last one here. What is more likely, Jared Verse and Byron Young combine for 5 sacks, or Trevor Lawrence throws 4 touchdown passes?
Ooh.
I'm going the first one. I don't see the Jaguars putting up 28 or more points in this game. I just have confidence in the Rams defense. We're going to hold them under that. And Jared Verse and Byron Young are crazy good. Like, I may be sounding like a homer here, but like Byron Young, 7.5 sacks right now. Jared Verse, while it doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, I think he's gone 3 games in a row with a sack. And I think I could see that happening more than I could see Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 touchdowns, but that could be a little bit of bias.
Yeah, I'm agreeing there. I think that this Jacksonville O-line can definitely be sus to a strong D-line, which the Rams have. Byron Young, I just want to say that this is a little off topic. I love that he's finally getting like national media attention. And like I have guys in my fantasy football draft who don't follow the Rams, and they're like, Zach, who is like Byron Young and why is he second in the NFL in sacks? And it's just when I know that those guys are starting to notice, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he deserves that attention. And he's just, this is such a strong start to see. He's just been so consistent.
And it's such a cool story too. Yeah.
Really cool story. And I'll admit it again, Joe, I don't know if you remember this queso that I had for you way back in the offseason. I talked about how Byron Young usually starts strong and tails off, like historically with the Rams. Yeah. And golly, why is his name escaping me? Number 10, Josiah Stewart. Oh, yeah. With him being drafted, I was like, I could see this guy potentially being eased in to the Cheetah package first and then kind of taking over Byron Young's role by the end of the year. Now that looks completely crazy. Like it looks insane to say that, but it kind of shows the strides that Byron Young has taken. I thought it was kind of funny how Jared Verse said that like he thinks Pilates is the biggest reason that he's
he was serious. Well. He was not making a joke. He was like, "No, I'm telling you, it's Pilates."
Yeah. And they're like, "Are you going to do it?" He's like, "No way."
I'll actually send a shout out to Byron Young. I'm just catching this right now as I'm looking at the injury report. Did not participate in Wednesday's practice. Non-injury related rest day. He's a year 3. He's on a rookie contract. We're giving him a rest day. That tells you all you need to know about how the team feels about Byron.
Yeah,
that's all
a
it
good
is.
Point.
I want to change this one just a little bit, or like add a little caveat to this one. What number would this need to be? The sacks between Verse and Young need to be where you would feel like 4 touchdowns from Trevor Lawrence is more likely.
8.
I was going to say 8 or 9.
Whoa.
8. Yeah.
That's crazy. I was going to say
Right?
6. That's, yeah. 6
I
is
mean,
a lot. 3 apiece. I mean, I don't know. Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas, that's some good weapons out there, man.
Yeah, that's the hard thing too. It's sometimes with these ones, it's hard to take your Rams bias out of it. With it, it's just like I can see the potential with Verse and Young and what they can do. And if you say, yeah, I could see like 3.5 sacks for both of them being like the best games of both their careers, like together, and that could happen this week. I don't know, but I just think the Jaguars' passing offense hasn't gotten going as much as they would like it to be, and the running offense is really where they've been at their best so far. And so I don't know if they've shown us enough to be like, but I guess to be fair, you could get down in the red zone and just throw a touchdown every time. So kind of going back and forth on it. But I think that's just a credit to your question, to be honest.
Yeah, it is the question. Thank you.
You're pretty good at this.
Well, let's take a quick peek at the weather. We're still in mid-50s, but the precipitation percentage has dropped since I did my show. When I recorded the Ram Showcase on Wednesday, we were looking at like 45 to 50% precipitation. Now we're actually close to 15-20%. So we may get out of it not being as wet for this one. And
I think it's going to help a lot too, the fact that this game isn't supposed to be nearly as windy as it was in Baltimore. I think wind plays such a big factor. Like, yeah, rain does too, especially if it's torrential downpour kind of stuff like we saw against the Niners last year. But I think wind sometimes plays a bigger factor than rain does. So,
I mean, you could tell it impacted Cardi's kick. I mean, the way that he literally, like, he was like, oh, man, like, yeah, like he was like doing the motion after. Like, I missed it. Like, you know.
And I've been to Baltimore Stadium before. It was my first Rams game ever. And that stadium, it was a really rainy, windy day when I went. And it's definitely one of those stadiums that like funnels the wind in and like it has kind of odd gusts to it. So I could totally see that impacting Cardi.
Yeah,
totally.
I think this is an interesting point here. It says, I love how well everyone is playing, but figuring out Cap for the next 3 years terrifies me.
That's 3 years from now's problem, dude. I don't know. Yeah. That's how I feel, man. Because everybody, like, I know a lot of people feel that way of like, well, what are we going to do about Stafford when he retires? And it's like, but he hasn't. And we have him this year with a Super Bowl caliber team. So let's not get, bogged down in who's going to be our next head coach, who's going to be next quarterback, what are we going to do about these contracts like that? It's like, no, we can win the Super Bowl this year though. Like, isn't that the thing? Like, like I'm not mad about the 22 season and eating that one. I mean, we had a lot of injuries and stuff like that because we were fresh off a Super Bowl win. I was like, whatever. Yeah, I'll eat a year for this. That's cool. So I don't know, man. That's how I feel about it. Is like, yeah, we'll have to deal with that eventually. But we've got all these guys really young right now.
Yeah.
On a team that I think can go all the way. So I don't know, man. I guess I'm just not thinking there yet.
And for me, it's like we've seen the Sean McVay and Les Snead combo since 2017, and they've built so many different kinds of rosters that have been competitive in every year other than 2022, which was kind of an outlier year. But I think that should give you confidence that they know how to draft, they know how to develop, and they know how to build teams in so many different ways. I think it's encouraging that it's not like this team can only build a team by trading for big superstars. They've shown you they can do it by drafting players late rounds. They've shown you they can do it early rounds with a guy like Jared Verse. They've shown you that they can build a team by trading for players like Jalen Ramsey, Marcus Peters, Aqib, like all those kinds of things, to where it should give you confidence. And like Sheriff Joe said, like, we're in the present right now. Let's enjoy this before it goes, rather than being like, man, I wish I enjoyed the time we had all these crazy good players, but I was so worried about the future. I think it's legitimate to think about, but
in the office, man, he was like, I wish there was a way to know that you were in the good old days before they're gone. And it's like, heads up, guys, we're in them. Like, you remember where we came from before Sean McVay showed up? It was not very fun. This is pretty sick, man. Enjoy this while we've got it. It will not last forever.
Well, and on the like paying player things, I love that the Rams are not they're not a team like the Bengals that have this circus show to pay your top tier talent, right? Like the Rams get deals done.
Yeah. Quietly. Kyron Williams, that was not a conversation.
No.
It just happened. He was showing up. Everything was fine. They asked him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah.
I'm just here to practice, though." Like,
I care about football.
Yeah, that's a
And I
money thing.
think that kind of speaks to the players that the Rams bring in. That's like most of the players you look around the roster, and most of them would probably handle it the way Kyron did, where it's like, it's not like the 49ers handling their contract situations. We don't have a ton of guys that are just like complete divas, and that's kind of the way the Rams have built the team, which does kind of help when it comes to contract negotiations because they don't make it a big deal and like make huge headlines out of it.
No Rams player has had to ever delete the Rams from their Instagram profile.
Yeah. To get paid. Yeah, that's the whole thing too, is it like, I mean, maybe we can't keep all of these guys. That would be crazy if we could, to be completely honest. Maybe Byron Young does end up as a Raven one day and after his rookie contract. But what makes me feel better about it is that we've got a Josiah Stewart who looks absolutely incredible right now, and also another draft class this upcoming year where I will go so far to say probably get some more pretty sweet players. So you almost don't want to keep everybody. You know what I mean? We only have 8 guys that are still here from the Super Bowl team. I mean, and we're still pretty damn good. So, I mean, you can filter in and out of players. Players come and go.
Rams are forever.
There we go.
I like that mindset. It helps you just to stay in the present and enjoy what you have right now. We got a couple more comments here to read. Joe, do you have enough time and Peo to do these last ones? All right. We have pay Landman first, then Puka, then BY. What do you guys think on this?
Landman does need to stick around. He's on the 1-year contract. We can renegotiate at any time. It's not a rookie deal, so we could extend him right now if we wanted to. I do think that Landman is somebody we should keep around. And based on his comments in Rams Revealed, was that week 2 or something like that, week 1 maybe, that it doesn't. I don't think we're gonna have to break the bank to keep him around. But he's your captain. He's a green dot. He is a very, very important piece of this defense, and he's only played 6 games as a Ram. That's huge.
I think it also speaks, when you're just talking about Nate Landman in particular, it speaks to the impact he's made to know, when was the last time you guys heard Ernest Jones's name mentioned?
Exactly.
Like, seriously, this guy's name was being brought up all the time last year.
Talking trash.
That's true. But from a Rams fan, last year we were hearing Ernest Jones's name all the time, and that was speaking to kind of like the instability at linebacker position. And Landman has been so good that we haven't really heard his name from the Rams fan base, which I think speaks volumes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for that last name that's on there, it says BY. Josiah Stewart, if he keeps progressing, that will make it harder for the Rams to justify giving big money to BY. And that's just a team building, kind of mindset of like, you can't just give money to a guy because you really like him. You're trying to build a football team. And Josiah Stewart definitely just made Byron Young a little bit more expendable. Not by a lot. Let's be fair here, but because Byron Young is obviously second in sacks, only behind Bonito, who's an absolute monster in Denver. So, I mean, obviously we want to keep him around, but if it doesn't work out, man, it doesn't work out. Rams are quick to get rid of people. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I still think even with how well Byron Young is playing, he definitely is kind of more on the outside looking in for a new contract. And that doesn't speak to who he is as a person or a player. It just speaks to the amount of talent the Rams have. And I don't know if you would pay a big contract to Byron Young and to Jared Verse, because Jared Verse is going to get paid crazy. And then on top of that, you have so many other guys on this roster you have to pay. So I'm glad we don't have to worry about that right now. Yeah. But like it is interesting to think about for sure.
Yeah.
Porter says this, he was kind of going off of our what's more likely. He says, what's more likely, we will get a cornerback during the bye week or we will not get a cornerback during the bye week.
Wow. So it feels like the Rams have seemingly been very upfront about that they like their team. I mean, they have kind of shown some hints. It's like, we're always looking to improve, but I think that we're just kind of waiting for Akello to get back. I don't think we're going to look outside the building.
I think the only way I tend to agree with Joe in that regard. I think the only perspective I could offer that's a little bit different is if one of these teams that are kind of an absolute dumpster fire right now, like the Dolphins or the Jets or something comes available that way because it's like an isolated incident between a player and a team, that would be the way I could see something maybe happening.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on the situation, and we'll see. I think if a move were to happen, it would be on the bye week to get them acclimated and all of that. I think
Yeah.
it was interesting because a couple weeks ago, McVay kind of hinted at the fact that they'd be looking to add at the cornerback position and like evaluate it in that way. But recently, he was asked that question, and he kind of was like, "No, like right now we aren't." So I think it does kind of change from week to week, and we'll see. Like Akello probably will come back sometime December. I think the Rams, if they started slower, maybe like record wise, maybe they'd be more urgent to look at cornerback, especially if that was a big issue. But the fact we're 4-2 right now, and you got a good chance to be 5-2 heading into the bye, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that can change.
We're also coming off of the single game where our corners have played their best ball. So I think that kind of gives a little bit of confidence too moving forward.
Darius Williams played his best game, in my opinion, last week.
He looked great.
Yep.
He looked great.
Yep.
Which it was against a backup, to be fair, but still, he made his plays.
I mean,
Still counts.
You got a situation where Q Lake is manning up on Zay Flowers getting his first career pick. I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to get those guys to all settle in a little bit. I don't think that we need to add from the outside of the building. I just think that we need to make sure that our guys are, being put in the right spot, because we've seen a few times where they're not. So
definitely. Another question here that we had from Grandizer earlier. He said game score predictions and Rams player of the game in the win.
I'm going to say it's going to be a 29-22 Rams win. Tutu Atwell, player of the game for the Rams.
All right. I'm going to go 22-8. And
for who?
Yeah, I know, right? And then give me Kyron on the player of the game.
Yeah,
that's solid. These predictions are always hard. Like score predictions, I always kind of wrestle with. I'm going to say,
yeah.
I'm going to say 24-21 Rams win. Player of the game is kind of a hard one for me to answer. I could see Devontae Adams just because he's going to be the feature guy. I'm going to just continue rolling with what I think here. Jordan Whittington is going to be player of the game. Underrated, kind of sneaky player of the game. I guess I'll say that.
Can I add what's more likely that I've tried to get you guys to answer for weeks now?
Yeah.
What's more likely? Are we going to crack some skulls, crush some souls?
That's impossible. Do some both.
Yeah. I just thought of that. I don't know. Remember that I used to comment that every week.
That was classic. That's a classic Joe phrase.
I forgot to put that in the shirt.
Still got. You have to. Yeah. So 26-22 Rams Landman player of the game. I could see that, honestly. Yeah. Ugly score 22-8. So I guess he changed his score. I don't know.
Score prediction. Yeah.
Johnny Ripple says, "Oh, this is a throwback here." At Peo, a peanut butter cup for a Landman peanut punch. Hey, you got to bring the peanut butter cup thing back after Cooper Kupp's been gone for maybe when a peanut punch happens.
Maybe one day. I'm still not ready to accept that Cooper Kupp is a Seahawk.
Yeah.
There's got to be something there, man. There's got to be something. Oh, man, I'm going to try to think. Because I used to do that. I did that during the Super Bowl run. Every time that we needed the Cooper cupcake.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were a couple beers in, whatever. But the first round, it was like, before the ball snapped, I will finish this cupcake. And
yeah,
maybe it was me out here in Colorado smashing cupcakes, or maybe it was McVay calling a sweet play. But either way, it was working, and I wasn't willing to change anything. Okay.
Oh, that's valid.
It cracked me up. You had there's like a live game reaction you posted an NFC Championship. Yeah. And you were watching with your Rams buddies, and they're like, "Joe, don't forget you need a cupcake." And you're like, "Oh yeah." You're like stuffing a cupcake mid-play, and I still laugh at that.
Dude, I have one video. I don't know where it is. I don't even know where I would find it. It's probably on Jackson's phone or something like that. But one where I shoved this cupcake into my face, and then we got stuffed on third down, and I just look over, my mouth is full, like didn't work.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, good times, man. Yeah.
Speaking of, we got our last two questions here that I can see at least. This is kind of Colorado specific, being that Joe and I are in
Oh.
Colorado. This was
That's
from
a
earlier, but Grandizer says, how do you like living in Colorado? I'd like to move there. Joe,
Oh,
I'll give this one to you first.
I'm from here. I'm born and raised here in Colorado Springs. That is the correct pronunciation, by the way, Colorado, for
Not
anybody.
Colorado.
Yeah, I actually, when I was in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, somebody was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Colorado," and he's like, "Oh, you could tell." It's like, get out of here, get out of my face. But I love living in Colorado, man. Our summers are, they're warm. You get to the 90s and stuff like that. You can go outside and get some crazy action going and stuff like that, and then head to the mountains and all that. We have some good camping, and outdoor stuff is obviously on fire here. If you like being outside, I don't really, but when I do, it's perfect. I got mountains all around me. I don't know if anybody knows the park Garden of the Gods, but I live about a 5-minute drive from that. So, I mean, look it up. I'm right there, man. I could just ride, I could walk down there, and I don't know how long it would take me to walk, actually. I walk many places, but I love Colorado, man. I love that. Like right now, it's absolutely gorgeous outside, dude. All the colors and stuff like that with the leaves changing. It's unbelievable, man. And I think it's a good place to call home, man, for sure. I think that it's nice too when you're trying to head out somewhere, whether that's New York, Florida, LA, whatever. You're pretty central, so it doesn't take you forever to get anywhere, which I love too. So I've got zero complaints about being here, man. I know a lot of people can't handle the weather and stuff like that. It's a good 50 right now. And that's a beautiful night, honestly. But yeah, man, I love it out here. I do have intentions of moving to Southern California at some point, but this will always be home.
Yeah. Colorado, I, similar to him, have been here basically my whole life. I was born in St. Louis for a year. I lived there, but I was only a year old, so I don't really remember that. That's how I became a Rams fan, though. But been in Colorado my whole life. Love Colorado. The weather changes so much, which is kind of fun. Like we had a May snowstorm, late May, almost into June, like a few years back. You get a lot of different weather. Like you got mountains, outdoorsy kind of thing. So Grandizer, if you're considering it, I would definitely recommend it. And who knows, you may run into Joe or me sometime.
Yeah, it's crazy. We live in the same city. We're both just like random Rams YouTubers and ended up.
I know. That's the crazy part.
But
the day that I found out,
dude, that was fun. I was gonna say, there's so many different places though. Like Colorado Springs is my home for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Denver, don't really want to live there. No. But there's a lot of other places I like a lot. So
yeah, Colorado Springs, crazy how there's 2 Rams fans in Colorado Springs for sure with you and I, and we both like have Rams shows. Like, what are the odds? That's crazy.
I got a whole squad out here, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Crazy.
I got the whole squad, man.
Last question, at least in the starred ones that I see here. This is a fun one from Grandizer. What is your breakfast for the Rams game? I'm used to eating breakfast for my games living on the West Coast, and my team is on the East Coast.
Dude, I just slam a Red Bull and go. I don't know. I don't know, man. I eat at the bar because I prefer to go to the game. I don't like to sit at home and watch. I like to make game day an event. So I usually just slam a Red Bull and go. And then I eat there. I get usually a burger from Kelly O'Brien's. Shout out Colorado Springs.
Are they opening it up for you at 10 a.m. on a Sunday?
No, we don't have enough manpower, man. It's a big Chiefs bar, so if the Chiefs play early like that, they'll open up. But we don't. The 5 of us don't make a big enough of an impact for us to get a bartender and a cook up early to crack open some doors for us, man. But we got a whole plan out. We're gonna have some coffee and some a breakfast burrito bar. Nice. So yeah, we're ready for it. But no, unfortunately, no bar this time. Breakfast scotch. Hell yeah, Johnny. I'm with Johnny in the comments. Hell yeah. Some Glenn Levitt right in the morning, dude. Light it up. I'm in.
And Johnny's like West Coast time, so 6:30 a.m. Really, Johnny?
That's crazy.
I will be on coffee this game, not beers.
I'm kind of the opposite of that. I am pretty simple. I just do smoothies most times for breakfast. Nice. So I'm gonna have that, and it's handy too because it's like you can be drinking it during the game. It's not like you have to be focusing on eating things. So I'll probably just have a smoothie, some water. Nothing crazy. the Rams will be feeding me in the morning.
There you go.
Are you guys Peo? I forgot. What's your breakfast?
Oh, probably just casual toast and orange juice. Yeah.
Nice.
That is so casual. That's the most casual breakfast I've ever heard. Are you guys eaters during the game? I know Peo usually do watch parties, but
Yeah, I used to be, but since I started streaming games, I just can't anymore. Like I'll have the odd snack there as a celebration, but it gets tongue tied. Like there was only one time I had wings while watching a game and like streaming it, and it just like
bad.
it's terrible because you can't focus on eating, so they get cold, and then when you do eat, the creeps on the internet show up. And they're just like, "Ooh, eat another one." And I'm like,
Wow, that's crazy. I'll go on record saying that wings are the single worst game food of all time. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Make it like I need to be, because I don't know what you guys are doing with your hands, but I'm high-fiving touchdowns. I'm doing all. I'm checking my fantasy real quick, my bets and stuff like that. I need clean hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand the fact that people are doing wings. That's crazy to me to do wings when you're trying. I don't know. And then also, I feel like that's a food you kind of got to focus on. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at it. You're figuring out where's my next bite at? How much meat's on this bad boy right now? What am I doing, man? You got to have a whole game plan for it, and your hands are getting messy. It's terrible.
I don't disagree with that, but there is something really cool when you got a bunch of buddies around and you're watching the game and you're each like eating wings. I don't know. It's cool. I dig it. Maybe not so much at home, but like at a bar.
And you create the pile of bones full of everyone.
You build the tower. Yeah.
Real cool. Real awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. Man, I've had waitresses hit on me because of how cool my tower was.
That's hilarious.
You're lying.
In my mind, they are.
Yeah. It's like, she wants me, dude. Like,
yeah, I would say for eating during the games, it's hard for me to do that because you can't enjoy either thing. Either you're focusing on like, ooh, this food is really good, or you're focusing on the game. It's hard to do both at the same time. I will say for me, a meal that always hits like on game day when we have it, we do it a lot of times for Super Bowls. We call them like pepperoni rolls, but basically if you guys have had Rhodes rolls before, you just let them rise and then you squish them down, put a pepperoni in, put some pepper jack cheese in, fold it up, put it in the oven for like 20 minutes. That is not messy. It's literally rolls with cheese and with pepperonis. So you can you can eat that basically hands free. That's kind of the thing I go to if we have that. But
I feel you, man. I'm just a delicious bar burger at halftime kind of guy.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
It's crazy how hungry that you get after a game, especially an emotional game. You're like, man, I could eat anything. Yeah,
I'm not sitting down during a Rams game. Are you crazy? Yeah. Like I'm burning calories out here, dude, and I need a carbo load. Look at me right now, dude. If I lose weight, I'm going to collapse into myself and become a black hole. I can't have that, dude. I need to, I need to just try to stay even over here.
Yeah, that's a fun way. That's a fun way to end the show there, though. That's a great question about the breakfast thing and get some opinions on that. Thank you, everybody who was in the chat tonight. Like, you guys were blowing it up. I'm sorry we couldn't get to every comment. It was fun, a fun surprise to have Peo and Joe on the show tonight. Like, that was honestly a blast. Probably the best show that we've had. So thank you, everybody who was in the comments, interacting, helping us out with what's more likely and over Rams action. We will be actually switching the day of the First Down Rams show from Friday nights to Wednesday nights, just to let you guys know. It'll be at the same time. It'll just be on Wednesday nights from here on out. So just stay tuned for that. Who knows? Maybe we get another Sheriff Joe Bags episode just naturally. We'll see.
In fairness, Rams Showcase night is Wednesday. So,
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe something can shake out there. But thanks to everybody who joined. Sheriff Joe Bags, where can they find you? Peo, where can they find you? And what can they expect moving forward?
Dude, I am at Ram Showcase just about everywhere. Ram Showcase, the podcast, available audio form everywhere you listen to podcasts, video version on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Ram Showcase. You can find it there. Also catch me on Tuna and the Sheriff Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This week is Saturday. Tomorrow morning we're going for our game preview day. But that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. LA time. That's streamed live on the First and Tuna podcast YouTube channel and the Ram Showcase Facebook page. And at Sheriff Joe Bags for my personal stuff. At Ram Showcase was a pod. At Sheriff Joe Bags.
Awesome. Well, Joe, thanks again for holding down the fort. I know there was a potential I was going to miss this entire episode, but I'm really glad I was able to come and just hang out, the three of us. It's been too long. It's truly been too long since we've all collabed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me Rams Radar with Payo Time on YouTube. I got Twitter and Instagram, but I don't really use them that much. I care about posting on YouTube mainly. I'll be hosting a watch party though. I'll be up early. I'll be chipper. I'll be excited. So if you want, your wake up call with Payo Time, before the Rams game, I'll be live.
Yeah, honestly, amazing content between these two guys. You guys, if you somehow haven't watched them before, go check them out. Give them a subscription. Go check out their content. It's for free. So it would be a big favor for them, and it'd be a big favor for you guys to get some excellent Rams content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. You guys have a great night. Horns up and God bless. Oh, yeah.